Good morning. Welcome. Today's practice is going to be a short wake up practice to help you feel like you're standing tall, and then we'll do some yogi abs at the end. So find a seat that you're comfortable with, and by seat in Sanskrit, the word seat is asana, but it doesn't necessarily just mean sitting. It could be any posture. So you could start standing if you like. You could also be on your knees, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to be on my knees for just a little bit. And as always, you're welcome to pad your knees. And whether you're relatively still or not, just be in a way that's comfortable. So I feel like swaying a little bit in my posture. You might as well. Again, any position to begin is great. Use this place as a place to check in. Maybe your hands are on the body. I'm going to bring my forehead to my hands in child's pose. If that sounds like something you want to do, you're welcome to join me. Otherwise, check in with yourself in whatever way feels good to you. And some of that might include checking out the space around you, because you are so much part of your environment, and your environment is so much part of you. Whether you're in a place that's familiar or not, maybe you're traveling, your environment feeds you. Minimally, it feeds your eyes, right? It feeds your whole self. And then there's your internal environment that is your home. And sometimes you may feel more at home in yourself than other times. So check in and notice any feelings, sensations, emotions, thoughts. And then when you feel ready to move, perhaps start to wiggle, stretch, make circles, or I'm going to start doing cat and cow from hands and knees. If you're seated, you might be doing it from there. If you're standing, you might be doing it from there. Any kind of wake up movements that your body wants or enjoys. And I'm going to come to sit. You can be, again, wherever you want to be. Oh, and then the sun rays are right on my face, which feels amazing. But I'm going to close this door here just to make it a little easier to look at you. Let's do a bit of a twist. So I'm going to reach my arms up overhead and then turn to the left. Grab whatever is close. In this case, it's also a piece of furniture, not just my body. You can use the furniture in your house to help you in your practice. Take a few moments. I'm always amazed at what it feels like to breathe in a twist. And then when you're ready, twist the other direction. And unwind. I'm going to take my hands back behind me and extend my legs out in front. Lean back onto the hands a little bit and lift the chest. So an extension here. And then bring the soles of the feet together, the knees wide. If this does not work for one or both knees, hips, or for whatever other reason, then skip it. The butterfly pose. It might be an asymmetrical butterfly. And if you like, stay upright. Otherwise, perhaps you'd like to fold forward after the extension. Now coming into a rounded posture. Nice. And then if you're comfortable on your knees, come back onto your knees. If you're not comfortable on your knees for any reason whatsoever, you can do this standing. So if you're on your knees, stay down. I'm going to stand up to show you the option. We're going to stretch out the feet. So if you're standing, you might stagger your feet just so that you have the ball of the foot on the floor and can get a little bit into stretching this whole sole of the foot. It feels easier for me to do that when I'm on my knees and curl my toes under. But for some people, that may not be an option if the knees don't want to be down or in this position. And you can decide how far back you want to bring your hips if you're in the kneeling position. This is called intense toe stretch for a reason. It gets more intense when you bring your head up over your belly. And that might be too much, especially first thing in the morning. You could also add some dynamic movement and kind of rock back and forth into it. If you're upright, you can also use a wall, put your hands on a wall and help you kind of get into the foot, even the calf, extending the leg and bending. If you're wanting to stretch the calf from the kneeling position, maybe extend the leg back and then press your weight back into the foot. So take a few moments to open up the feet, the back of the legs. And do both sides if you're doing one leg at a time. There's plenty of time, so explore here for a moment. Another way to help open the back of the legs and the feet is downward dog pose. So if you like, press into the hands, curl your toes under, and lift your hips any amount. And you might start by bending one knee and pressing the other heel to the ground. Feel the stretch down through the back of the leg and the calf. And the foot is opening up too. And then switch sides. You can pedal the feet back and forth or spend a few moments on each side. Again, if hands on the ground doesn't work for you for that, take your hands to the wall about hip height, and then you're in a wall variation of downward dog. And you can still do this. It's going to feel a little bit different, but it'll help you open up the back of the legs. So just trying to give you lots of options, especially standing options. When you feel complete with that, make your way forward to the front of your mat. So if you're in downward dog, you might end up in a forward fold. If you were standing, feel free to join the forward fold if you like. And then in the forward fold, lift your toes up off the ground. If you need to grab onto something, furniture, wall, or otherwise, please do. And feel the balls of your feet pressing into the floor. Feel your heels strong in the ground and lift them as best you can. Nice. And then lower the toes and come forward slightly. And again, this is where furniture can be helpful. if the hands don't quite reach the floor, but lean forward a little bit and see what happens if you try to lift your heels. You don't have to lift them all the way up, but you can. You can play with that. Or you can lift and lower a few times. Please grab onto whatever helps you feel safe here. Maybe you lift one heel at a time so that the other one is flat. And notice range of motion, notice differences from left to right, and notice how the feet feel. Nice. All right. Lower the feet all the way down so that you feel stable. Bring the hands to the tops of the thighs. Pause here for a moment and feel how the weight of your hands in your legs makes the feet feel even more squishy into the ground. Now that it's spring, as we're recording this, there may be some days when you feel like taking your shoes and socks off and running around in the grass. I encourage it as much as possible. All right, and then from here, push the feet into the ground and come on up to stand. If you landed somewhere where you feel comfortable not adjusting your feet, great. If you need to adjust your feet, please do. Just notice what it feels like to stand upright, feet strong into the earth, crown of head moving upward. It's very rare that we actually pause with both feet on the ground. Even though in a yoga practice, we like to have 2 feet on the floor to feel stable. So notice what it feels like to stand and be and breathe with ease. Nice. And if you want to adjust your feet, you can change your mind in a moment. Bend your knees and sit down into a squat. Utkatasana, or chair pose. I'm bringing my hands forward. You can bring them anywhere you'd like. If you bring them down by your side, one of my friends calls this thunderbolt, which is just fun to say. And then come on back up to stand. And then sit. Maybe if you decide your feet want to be in a different position, try that. And then come on up. Now, everybody's squat's going to look a little bit different. Some of you may have more of an upright torso because your ankles bend more than my former point shoes would allow for. So feel into your squat and then find a place where you want to stay for a little bit. Now, want to may not be the words that you use, right? But we're going to explore here, and you can decide to change the height of your bar stool at any point. So from here, if your hands want to be closer to the body, awesome. We're going to lift one heel off the ground. So come up onto the top ball of the foot and then place it back down. So you're sitting in a squat, but you're moving your feet up and down off the floor a little bit. Lift one side, lower, and then try the other. Nice. Now bring the heels to the floor and try to lift the toes, woo, without falling backwards. So you might just lift a little bit. You might feel yourself changing the pose a little bit as you explore. Lift and lower a few times. Feet are getting a workout. That's good. My hands want to do like the same thing that my feet are doing. This is totally normal. Your hands are your feet for your arms. All right, and then let's take a break and stand upright. Maybe reach for the sky. If it feels good, arch back. Oh, and then come back up to stand. You're welcome to do a little shake or whatever feels good here. If you like the feeling of your feet strong on the floor, stay there and shift your weight to your right foot. Get light on the left toes, and if possible, lift the knee and the foot up. Crane pose. Now, what do you do with your arms? You can do anything you like. Do the little wings. You can reach for the sky, I like this for right now, especially in the spring, a little more of the uplifting energy. Don't worry if you're wobbling, that's part of it. Use a chair or grab the wall if you would like. And then take your right hand, so your opposite hand, and grab the knee. Take your other hand back and twist a little bit. Ooh, if it didn't quite work out the way you hoped, that's okay. Stay playful with it. And then unwind, set your foot down, and shake it out. All right, let's try the other side. So start with both feet strong and steady, and then pour the weight over to your left foot. And as you're ready, lift the right foot and knee up any amount. Again, you decide the arm position. It doesn't have to look the same on this side. In fact, you could embrace the wobble and kind of go with it a little to stay even more playful. Nice. And then take the standing twist. So your left hand comes and grabs the knee. The right hand might reach behind you or to the hip. And then when you're ready, lower down, shake it out. Nice, one more standing posture here. Step back with your left foot and come into a warrior style lunge. So you're looking forward mostly. You could have your heel up. Some of you may prefer to have the heel back. That may mean a shorter stance. And then lean your torso forward so you're at an angle. You might feel like your head, your shoulders, your hips, and your heel are all in one diagonal line. And then take the hands back, feeling strong here. Plug your feet into the floor. And then spring off of your back foot and try to come up into your crane pose. So lean forward, spring off the back foot and kick the knee forward through. Whoop. If you had to touch down, that's okay. If you like, reach the arms up to the sky. Nice. And then bring the foot back down. Let's try the other side. Step back with the right foot. Left foot is in front now. Find your warrior pose. Lean forward if you like. Hands reaching back, perhaps. I call this the Wonder Woman variation because I always feel like this is, you're ready to like bust through whatever movie screen is in front of you. And then perhaps bring the feet together or try to bring the knee up and forward into crane, balancing on your left foot. Reach the arms up high. Beautiful. Let's do one more time to each side. The second time you do something, your body's kind of ready for it. It's like, okay, I know what we're doing now. Sometimes your mind gets annoyed because you're like, I was good with that. I don't need to do it again, but that's okay. We learned something different. It might feel easier to get into a shape the second time because your proprioceptors are ready. Feel the strength in the legs, especially that front leg. And then when you're ready, spring off your back foot, lift the knee forward if you can. Bonus points if you now try to come up onto the standing leg toe. Woo, just for a second. All right. Come on and step down. Last time on the second side. Start with warrior one, the Wonder Woman version. Feel the strength down through the legs. And then when you're ready, spring off of the back foot. Swing your knee through for crane pose. Maybe you reach up to the sky and try to come up onto the toe. Oh. All right. Step down and step wide on your mat. Any distance that you like, feet parallel-ish, and then hinge from the hips and forward fold. This is where I love grabbing a couch if one's not there and you like blocks, great, or the floor. Standing wide angle, forward fold. And when you're ready, make your way down to sit. Feel free to swing the knees a bit from left to right. And then come all the way down onto your back. Perhaps here, draw the knees in or draw a circle. Get the bonus back massage. Nice. And then lift your heels to the sky, but your legs won't be completely straight. So it's imagine that your heels keep trying to lift, 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 but don't worry about straightening the legs. Take the hands behind your head, interlace the fingers if that's comfortable, and bring the elbows super wide. So imagine the action of kicking the heels skyward. I'm flexing my feet because that helps me do that. And then when you're ready, squeeze the trunk muscles, belly muscles, and lift your head. Looking at your thighs now. In the up position, kick your heels a little further to the sky. You might feel yourself kind of rock with your tailbone lifting, and then lower back down. Nice. Keep the heels in the air and lift your head again. In the up position, the high position, kick the heels, do a little rock, and then lower your head. Again, lift, squeeze, crunch, and then kick the heels. Add that little lower belly squeeze. I felt it that time. Did you? It's okay if your experience is different than mine. That is the beauty of being human. So continue a couple more times here. I love this one for getting the whole abdominal core and trunk. When you're ready, lower your feet to the ground. Maybe take your arms wide and then bring your knees off to one side to twist. Slowly bring the knees up and over to the other side. Twist in the other direction. And then come back to constructive rest shape for a moment. Take the hands to your belly or to your trunk. And pause for a moment. Notice the energy you moved around in your practice. Notice those signs of life, blood flow, heartbeat, breath moving, sounds around you, inside of you. Feel the earth holding you, your back supported. And if you'd like to stay here for another few moments, please do. After the work and action, a moment of rest. If you're ready to begin the transition into your next activity, do so sweetly. Perhaps roll to one side and pause there for a moment. Thank the earth for holding you always. And come on up to sit, taking in your environment again. And taking in the fact that you are not here alone. There are others here practicing with you, which makes it magical. I'm so grateful for each of you, whether you're here live or watching the recording. I wish you a wonderful rest of the day.